Tonight we have a warning for women who use Uber, which advertises itself as a safe ride home. A CNN investigation finds more than 100 drivers have been accused of sexual assault or abuse in the last 4 years, and it's a problem the $70 billion transportation giant Uber has gone to great lengths to keep quiet. Our senior investigative correspondent Drew Griffin has spoken to two victims who are refusing to remain silent. Drew, what have you found out?
Well, Uber doesn't release the number of drivers who are accused of sexual assault, so CNN decided to count up ourselves. We combed through police reports and court records, and the stories we heard were frightening.
Anxiety, depression.
Like many victims, she feels shame, hasn't told her children, is trying to protect her own privacy,
Thank you.
but still wants every woman to know what she says happened to her when she began feeling intoxicated at a Miami area bar, sought a safe ride home, and used the convenient Uber app to summon a ride.
And I don't remember anything until the next morning.
And the next morning?
The next morning I woke up and both my pants and my underwear were on the floor.
Evidence pointed to assault. Her Uber driver, Namar Abdullah, is charged with felony sexual battery, has pled not guilty, and is awaiting trial. She is suing the company that promises a safe ride home. A CNN investigation has uncovered dozens of cases like hers. None of the information comes from Uber, which did not provide CNN numbers on how many of its drivers have been accused of sexual assaults, the company saying they are working through their data. Instead, CNN scoured public records, police reports, civil and criminal court cases, and talked with a dozen attorneys representing victims. The results? CNN has documented at least 103 Uber drivers in the U.S. who've been accused of sexually assaulting or abusing their passengers in the past 4 years. At least 31 of those drivers have been convicted on charges ranging from battery to rape. Dozens of criminal and civil cases are pending. Uber is by far the largest rideshare company with 15 million rides per day worldwide. And while hard to compare directly, the smaller rideshare company Lyft, with 1 million rides per day in the U.S. and Canada, is also dealing with sexual assaults by its drivers. A similar CNN review found 18 cases of Lyft drivers accused. 4 drivers have been convicted. A dozen criminal and civil cases are pending. Lyft told CNN the safety of the Lyft community is our top priority, and the company says it has worked hard to design policies and features that protect our community. Many of the cases fit a pattern, like this one, when this woman was escorted out of a bar in Long Beach, California, and got into the back seat of an Uber.
And I fell asleep.
Drunk, young, alone. What should have been a 10-minute Uber drive home turned into 3 hours.
You're in the back seat?
Yep.
You were, I assume, passed out?
Yeah, he woke me up. He had to. He was already penetrating me, and then I remember him performing oral sex, and then after that I don't really remember.
She awoke the next day with severe pain. Like the victim in Miami, she went to a hospital and called police. Her driver, a 47-year-old man, was found carrying her cell phone at a car wash and arrested. He had been charged with a prior sexual crime, but never convicted, which allowed him to pass Uber's background check. Charges against him in this case eventually dismissed. The Uber driver insisted the sex in the backseat of his car was consensual. She is now suing Uber.
Were you able to fight back, tell him no?
I was too inebriated.
The individual reports from across the country are horrific. In San Diego, an Uber driver pled guilty to raping one passenger and sexually assaulting at least 9 other women in a serial rape case that sent him to prison for 80 years. In northern Ohio, an Uber driver pled guilty to unlawful sexual conduct with a minor, forcing a young passenger to perform a sex act on him. In Fort Worth, Texas, an Uber driver allegedly kidnapped an elderly passenger, driving her to a wooded area where, according to the police report, he raped and beat her. He has not entered a plea. Victims kidnapped, raped, trapped in cars with electronic locks. One victim told police she was forced to drink her driver's urine. And multiple experts, from police to lawyers to prosecutors, tell CNN the actual number of Uber drivers accused is much higher than the 103 we found. Either the crimes aren't reported, there isn't enough evidence to prosecute, or Uber quietly settles the matter before a civil case can even be filed. Uber first agreed to and then canceled an interview with CNN about this story, and instead gave us a statement about safety updates the company has made since CNN first started asking about the pattern of sexual assaults months ago, including an emergency button, driver screening improvements, and the addition of the former Secretary of Homeland Security to head up Uber's Safety Advisory Board. The company insists it's putting safety at the core of everything we do.
Uber has done a miraculous job of keeping this story quiet.
Attorney Gene Christensen has been suing Uber on behalf of victims since 2015. Uber, she says, settles cases and demands silence from all parties, non-disclosure agreements in exchange for a settlement.
How many cases have you and your firm handled?
I can't go on the record and say that because of confidentiality. Sorry.
Multiple attorneys across the country have told CNN the same. Like other major corporations, any settlement offer from Uber comes first with a confidentiality agreement to be signed by the sexual assault victim. In fact, 8 attorneys told CNN they couldn't even discuss their Uber cases.
It's one reason why our firm decided to file a class action at this time. We're not simply filing cases so that Uber pays women money and their lawyers to be quiet about it anymore. And that was a conscious decision that we made.
In addition to money, Christensen's class action lawsuit against Uber seeks more thorough screening of drivers.
Wolf, you can become a driver for Uber completely online. Now, Uber does do its own background checks, but it's fought requiring background checks that involve fingerprints. Critics, including government regulators, say the company needs to do much more to make sure its riders are safe. Wolf?
Drew, what is Uber doing about all this right now?
It was only after CNN began asking these questions about sexual assaults, the company tells us that they're implementing these new changes, like rerunning background checks each year. But no one from the company would tell us that on camera. In fact, an interview with an Uber executive last week canceled at the last minute. Wolf, Uber provides millions of safe rides every day, as we reported, but as we've discovered, your ride is only as safe as your driver. One attorney describes Uber and other ride sharing as electronic hitchhiking. Riders, especially women riding alone, need to be cautious how they use the service. Wolf?
Good advice. Excellent reporting. Thanks to you and your team. Drew, I know you guys worked really, really hard preparing this exclusive report. We appreciate it very much.